Hello and welcome back to Module 3 of this e-learning course on digital skills. Module 3 is all about how to create digital resources and digital content. And in part 3 of Module 3, we're going to be talking a little bit about how do we collaborate online. Collaborating online digitally is one of the most important skills that we can teach our children and young people. Not only is it great for peer assessment, but again it's also great for providing audience for students' work, as well as assisting us with teaching of lesson plans and professional development. Collaborative writing is a process that enables students to generate ideas together, build on each other's contributions, provide feedback to one another, and demonstrate their learning in new and creative ways. There are a number of tools that can allow collaborative writing to take place, but probably two of the most popular are Google Apps for Education and Microsoft Office 365. We're going to have a little look at Google Apps for Education in some of these examples here, but some of the features in Office 365 are also very similar. The great thing about a Google Doc is it's a little bit like a traditional Word document, but it's on the internet and therefore it can be shared. You can have up to 50 people in a Google Doc at any one time contributing to the document, but also contributing to the discussion. It's got lots of other built-in collaborative features as well. For example, you can review the revision history to analyse how a piece of writing has been built up over time. You can also provide instant feedback to your students and provide other links to videos, tools, games and quizzes for personalised individual learning by using the comments feature. It's got a great share button at the top, so again you can share that with people that you either want to be able to collaborate with or just to be able to view the document. And one of the hidden gems of Google Docs is the Research tab. This saves you time by actually being able to search and research from the internet inside the document itself, as well as being able to find copyright-free images. It's a really powerful resource. In terms of providing peer support or teacher feedback, one of the other things that you can do is you can generate add-ons such as Kazina. The great thing about Kazina is that you can actually leave voice feedback for your students. Now just think about how powerful that is. They have to listen to the feedback, digest the feedback, and then actually make changes to the document. Remember, you can check within the document to see when they've made those changes. Here's an example here of some young people using Google Docs in a science classroom. They're actually doing a 21st century group work exercise, where they're working in groups, but one member of the group is on each of the different tables around the room. It's a great example about how you might simulate remote working in a one-to-one environment. Of course, when we talk about one-to-one, it's also important to remember that lots of young people these days are not just using one device, but they're using two devices in their classroom. The second device, in this case here a mobile phone, provides a constant social feed which can be used. You'll notice that the phones are encouraged to be out, but they're also encouraged to be face down unless a teacher asks them to be used. One other nice feature of Google Docs is something called Draftback. The Draftback Chrome extension can be applied to a Google Doc and then you can see it being retyped in real time. It's good for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons it's good is because you can see which members of the group contributed to a document, so it's a good way of assessing group work. But it's also very good and very easy to highlight straight away who's cut and pasted into a document, so it's a good built-in plagiarism checker as well. I've talked a lot there about Google Docs or word processed documents, but it's not really just Google Docs. There's also Sheets, Slides and more. Here's a few examples. In the collaborative slides mode, not only can you create PowerPoint-like presentations, but again you can also create class presentations. For example, for a group presentation, each member of the class could be responsible for completing 2 or 3 slides. This avoids the problem of actually one person in the group doing all of the work and the other people being passive observers. In my class recently, I was doing some internet safety and responsible use work, and every member of the class had their own slide and they had to see what they could find out about this picture. What I was able to do over time was I was able to actually go through then and see what the class had found out and then replay the presentation for them. For students that were struggling, they could look at other people's slides to get some kind of peer support. So again, they were getting support from each other as well as support from me as the teacher. We've also got collaborative sheets. In this exercise here, we've spread some children out around the town and they're just doing a simple traffic count exercise. When they get back to the classroom, they all contribute into the same sheet in one go, which allows us to create a larger data set for analysis. The great thing about it, of course, is this could also be shared with other schools. other schools perhaps that you're twinned with across Europe. One of my favourite lessons that I ever saw was this type of exercise where one group of children were doing a traffic count and the other group of children, when they got back to the computer lab, were doing a virtual traffic count using online web cameras of Mumbai. And again, web cameras are really good ways for us to get good data. My favourite, I think, is the polar bear webcam of Churchill up in Canada. Have a look at it and check it out, and think about using webcams in your classroom. They're really powerful agents for teaching and learning. One other good feature of Google Docs is online forms. You can use online forms for all sorts of things. This is an example here from my school where we've created a pupil voice app. Young people can just fill in the form and submit it to me, and it automatically gets put into a spreadsheet. In this example here, one of the members of the class has asked for better toilet facilities in the school, so it's something for us to go away and have a look at now. One other Chrome extension that you might also get for Google Docs is something called Flubaroo. This allows young people to submit answers via Google Forms, but it then self-marks and emails instantaneously the result of the quiz back to the student. It's really powerful once you've got it set up, and will save you a huge amount of time as a teacher for a summative assessment where you don't want to see the working and the thinking behind it. Of course, there's other collaborative tools as well. Zmaps is of course one of the tools that we're using on this course, and it's great to see how many people have registered, and it's great to see just how many people and the spread of people that we've got, not just across Europe but also worldwide. Once again, you're all very welcome. Don't forget, we can also use some of these tools for parent and community collaboration as well. Online tools help us build relationships. They overcome geographical isolation for parents that don't live together. They cross cultural barriers via tools like Google Translate. They help us share student achievements, and they also help us to connect learning to the real world. There's lots and lots of things in this, but don't forget sometimes it's also very good to use traditional media as well as digital media. If you really want to communicate with parents, it's important that you take a blended approach and use a little bit of both. Hope you've enjoyed thinking about some of those things and thinking about collaborative docs. Why don't you share with other people how you might have used collaboration in the classroom, not just for your own teacher planning, but also to get the best out of your pupils from a learning and teaching perspective. See you in the next video.